Yeah, it really looks like Detroit over here. Or at least this is what I imagine Detroit to look like. Just have one abandoned storefront after another. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to New York. If you're looking for the Empire State Building or Brooklyn, they're just down that way, over there. You know, about 200 miles away. I'm from Long Island. We don't have like barns and cows over there.
I mean, you can stay where you are and take pictures, but that's about it.
Okay. Didn't mean to cause a disturbance.
That's okay. I'm just concerned when people stop on the side of the road and start taking pictures. So.
Okay, it's just I like the cows.
Okay, cool.
The owner of the barn told me to get off the property. Kind of miss the friendly gentleness of West Virginia already. Up here in New York, even in New York State, people are a little less trusting. This is not New York City. This is the state of New York. It's a bit weird, but they're two different things. One is a state, one is the city. One is almost completely rural. The other is one of the biggest cities in the world. Upstate New York is a place that is very mysterious to most people from New York City. Many never venture up here. It's a place of dairy farms, horse farms, abandoned factories. It's a land of mystery. Today, I want to take you on a little journey through upstate New York. A place that in many ways has more in common with the South, the more rural parts of the U.S. But to be honest with you, I don't really know what's up here. So let's go find out. So I'm driving currently through the town of Amsterdam, New York. Don't think they have the same cannabis shops as the namesake. This used to be a thriving factory town, a place where things were manufactured. But as I'm driving through the streets here, a lot of things are boarded up. Most of the storefronts are boarded up. Not a lot going on here. It's almost like we're back in West Virginia. It's kind of wild because all over this town there's beautiful old abandoned homes like this. Or at least I thought it was abandoned, but it's a satellite dish up there and an air conditioner, so maybe there's somebody squatting in here? I don't even know. It is crazy how bombed out this place looks. Just imagine what it used to look like in the past, when everybody here had a factory job. And you know, the craziest thing about this is we are in New York State, the state that has New York City, the city with the most competitive housing market in the entire country. People can't find a home. People can't afford a home. And then you got this upstate. It's insane. Over here you have a kind of abandoned factory or office building that was behind a fence with barbed wire. But somebody created an opening. could see for sale signs all over the place here. Here, they're advertising 10 acres. Imagine buying 10 acres on Long Island or New York City. Can't do it. I actually looked up what the average housing price is here in Amsterdam, New York, and it's apparently now $150,000. 5 years ago, it was about $50,000, which that sounds wonderful if you're in the New York area, the New York City area. But up here in an area with no jobs, a place where people are fleeing, I don't know. I don't know where they get these prices from. I can't tell if this Super 8 motel is actually abandoned or just the general trend in this town is to not give a shit about anything. Apparently the motel actually is open. And also a bunch of people just use the parking lot to park their trucks. I see people are also parking school buses over there. Amsterdam used to be a town during the 20th century where they manufactured carpets. There were two major companies that were manufacturing them. And so, it was a place that people came to for work. It's a story that played out all over upstate New York. Back when the Erie Canal was constructed in the 1800s, it connected for the first time New York to the middle of the country, to Chicago, to Canada. It was connected to Lake Erie. And all along the river, manufacturing towns sprung up. And so you ended up with the same mix of immigrants that migrated to New York City. They also moved up here. Irish, Italians, blacks from the South who moved up during the Great Migration. And so, even though towns like this aren't dead, they're not abandoned. It does feel like coming here is like stepping into the past, like stepping into the glory days. In the later half of the 20th century, manufacturing jobs started to move overseas. We don't make carpets in the US anymore. Those jobs moved over to Asia, primarily, some to Latin America, but they're not in the US anymore. And so, these great manufacturing towns started to change. People started to move out. And what is this over here? This looks like a church, but there's like Chinese writing everywhere. So this is now the Goddess of Mercy Temple. Not sure if this is even Christian anymore. Here you could develop your potential, attain wisdom and wellness, and boost your immune system. Making it sound like a Himalayan retreat, I guess. In terms of how many people there are here, it's almost like the Himalayas. Hey, excuse me, ma'am. I was just wondering, do you know what this church over here is?
Buddhist church.
It's a Buddhist church? Oh, okay, so it's not, okay.
It was Catholic, but Buddhists brought it over.
Oh, okay, when did it change?
Oh wow, that's many years ago. That's like maybe about 8 years ago.
8 years ago. Oh, so not too long ago. Just like a decade.
Yeah, I wish to stay Catholic, but it's Buddhist.
It's a crazy change, yeah. I
They
saw
don't
the
bother
cross up
anyhow.
there.
They don't bother.
They're nice people?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
that's
let
good.
everybody go into their churches and when they have their special occasions.
Oh, okay. It's good to hear. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
No way. According to Google, this is now a Buddhist temple. And look, they even have white people that go. I wonder if this is run by the Falun Gong or something like that. It's my first time here. I was just passing through.
Okay.
Yeah. And have you lived here like for a long time?
25 years.
25 years. Oh, okay.
It's quiet and nice.
Yeah, it seems really quiet. Has the place changed a lot?
Huh?
Has the place changed a lot over the past like 30 years?
Yes.
Yeah?
It was quieter. They didn't have so much businesses. The mall right there was movie theaters. It had many things, but
okay, so
as time goes by, you know, cutbacks and all that.
Yeah, so there's businesses moving in now.
Now it is. If you go Route 30,
Yeah.
a lot of businesses. Popeyes, a lot of restaurants and everything.
Oh, okay. That's good to hear.
It's going up gradually, but it's going up.
Good to hear. You have a nice day.
You too, thank you.
Yeah, take care. Well, there you go. Maybe there are some businesses moving in. But it sounds like a similar story to West Virginia. You know, like little fast food places, Walmart. Not quite the kind of stores you can build an economy over. So it has started raining here in upstate New York. It rains a lot in this state. We are almost at a town that is called Rome. I love the town names up here. All roads lead to Rome. Let us go. I'm sure seeing trailer homes down south is nothing unusual, but being from New York, I have never seen one in the state before. Wow, look at this. It feels like that house and that barn is just completely under construction, and in the meantime the dude is living in the trailer over there. Not gonna lie, I'm also seeing a lot of pickup trucks. Ah, how nice. The rain is finally stopping just as the sun is setting. Huh. Might have been willing to check out Donna's breakfast and lunch cafe, but I guess she does not open for dinner. Apparently neither does the CrossFit place over there or any of the stores. This is a very quiet city. This city of Rome. Alright, well, since it's almost 9 o'clock at night, I think what I'd like to do is go and try and find a motel. When I was a kid, growing up on Long Island, my parents, if they took me for a summer trip, they would take me to a motel in upstate New York. And we would go and explore the nature, the real nature, that you can't find on Long Island or New York City. I think there aren't many motels left up here, but I'm sure there must be one around here. So, let's go find it. Oh yeah. This looks like a motel. This looks like where a horror movie would start. Hello? Call this number for any help. Or push the button. Where's the button? Alright. Had to wait there for like 30 minutes before this old Indian lady showed up who didn't want to be on camera. Finally got a room. $113. Nice. It smells like cigarettes. Alright, I am instantly regretting paying for this. These are the sheets for the bed. This is the pillow I get. What else is under here? Oh my god. What the Jesus Christ? Ah! Come on, dude. And then on top of that, there's something off with this motel. There's just like random women in all of the rooms on the left side of the motel. They just keep coming out like one by one. They don't seem to have a car or anything. I don't know if they're like homeless or they're, you know, here for something else. Man, and this cost $113. In my 17 plus years of travel, this may be the worst value for money I've ever paid for accommodation. Dude, I'm gonna have to ask for a refund. I gotta get out of here. I can't stay here. So, basically, everyone staying at that motel was homeless. Probably should have known that was a special motel by the fact that here in the shopping center across the street you have the Dollar General and a store selling green leaves. And every other store, well, there is no store. They're all vacant. Oh, I think there's a liquor store over there. So the Indian guy who owns it, he showed up and immediately he was like, come with me. I will give you a refund. No worries. And so no conflict at all. And he said straight up, I am the first actual traveler that has showed up at that motel in 6 months. Everyone else has either been homeless, and I guess the local town, city here, Rome, gives them like a credit or voucher, and then so they just stay there. And then maybe there's a few people that are working like road work jobs or whatever, and then they house them there. So, what an experience. And I certainly have nothing against the plight of homeless people. It's just they don't tend to leave motel rooms in very nice shape. So I'm gonna go. I don't want to get bed bugs. I'm gonna go find another hotel. Alright, I just pulled up at another hotel, but what does that sign say? You are parking and leaving your vehicle at your own risk. Please lock all doors and windows after removing any property or valuables. Damn. They got crackheads even out here. Okay. Guess how much this room cost? $220. That is more than I paid even in New York City. What the hell is going on in upstate New York? According to that guy, if you want to stay in a hotel that they're not using as basically a shelter for the homeless, this is the kind of money you gotta pay. It's kind of crazy. That's the state of New York. And I thought this was gonna be like West Virginia, where you can get a nice, decent hotel room for under $100 a night. No, upstate New York is like West Virginia in the sense that there are decreasing economic opportunities just at double the price. Anyway, I'm gonna get some rest. We'll wake up early tomorrow. Maybe we'll drive to another region of New York State, and we'll see what else we can find. There's a lot to do in this state. We're not gonna get to everything, but at least we're not gonna have any bed bugs tonight. See you tomorrow. Whoa. You know what that is? That's a Walmart distribution center. Look at the size of that thing. It's gotta be like 1,000 trucks in there. Maybe 2,000. I don't remember the exact statistic, but Walmart employs a ridiculous percentage of Americans. Something like 5% of all Americans work for Walmart. And then, of course, when you add Amazon on top of that, mom and pop stores basically don't exist anymore. Or at least there's very, very few. Interesting. And then right down the road, you have like a nice little fancy apartment complex. I guess you'd have like the managers staying in here. I'm on my way now to a city that is perhaps the greatest representation of upstate New York's decline. Okay. I'm in a place called Johnson City, part of the bigger Endicott Johnson City area. It's a place that was literally named after a man that opened a factory here. That doesn't exist anymore. Here are the old Johnson City municipal offices. Who knows if they're even open anymore? Please place all payments in the drop box at our new location. They probably had factory workers back in the day. This area used to be home to a big shoe factory. No? I don't really want to go in there. That's going to be asbestos central right there. And there might be somebody in there that will stab me. These buildings look like they've been unoccupied for God knows how long. Decades. It really looks like Detroit over here. Or at least this is what I imagine Detroit to look like. Just that one abandoned storefront after another. But that said, it's not completely doom and gloom around here. This building right here actually used to be the old shoe factory. And apparently, just last year, a property developer bought it and then transformed it into apartments. It's the Victory Parking Building. No one is a loser here. There's still construction going on over there. Seems like they're working on the ramp that leads into the complex. So, yeah, people are moving here. And you might be asking, if there's no jobs here, who was moving into these apartments? There's a big university nearby called Binghamton University. And probably a lot of the people moving in here are students at the university. Do you live in these apartments?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is it mostly students inside?
It's everybody.
Is everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When did they put this up? Because this used to be a factory, right?
Right. Well, it opened up a year ago.
A year ago?
Yep.
Okay. Not very long ago.
Had about 400 apartments filled.
So the area is changing, do you think?
Hope so.
There you go. I thought it was just students moving in there, but got local residents moving in too. You can see the old parking meters from the past here. Not that they're being used anymore. Let's see. Time expired. 12 minutes for a nickel, 24 minutes for a dime, 1 hour for a quarter. It's about $5 for the whole day. Not a bad deal. Of course, last time that meter was probably used was back in the 80s, so there's been a bit of inflation since then. All of the houses on this street look like they were unoccupied. I'm just a simple vlogger. I was making a little YouTube video about the area. Didn't mean to disturb you.
Well, no, I just yell at everybody for taking pictures. I'm sorry, college kids come through and they take pictures. We're trying to fix things up. I just don't like people taking pictures.
Yeah, I'm not one of the college kids, though.
I've been here for about 15 years, and my boss is kind of my partner. He's been here for about 45 on this street.
Okay.
Alone.
Was the shoe factory open back then, or?
When he was here, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been closed for like, what, 20, 30 years?
Something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's what I heard about this city, that like it was all based around that factory.
Pretty much. I mean, even a lot of these houses that were built for the people that work there.
Okay.
And they, come home and then go to work. A lot of the houses in the area were built for them.
I see.
So there's some
I really appreciate that.
best I got.
What's your name?
My name's Brian.
Brian. Thanks a lot, Brian.
No problem.
I'm sorry about all the college students disturbing you over here.
Well, because they're taking pictures inside the windows and things, and I'm like, you
Oh, they come like right up to the house and then go inside?
Yeah.
That's wild.
They're walking up the back stairs to just
Okay.
lose my mind.
I feel you, yeah. All right, well, I'll try and get the word out, not to disturb people here. It seems like it's changing quickly, though.
It's a quiet, nice neighborhood, and yeah, we're trying to fix it up to make it look nice. Inside first, then outside. You know?
Fair enough.
That's the way it goes.
All right. All the best. Appreciate it. So if you are a college student in Binghamton, please stop disturbing that man. Please stop going in his house. Be like me. Be afraid of the death from asbestos. This right here is kind of wild. It says this was erected by Endicott Johnson workers. All right, so I just Googled it, and apparently this guy was the father of the dude that built the shoe factory. So I guess it was like old money that got that factory built. My family had been in the area for years. But what a wild thing, huh? There is no way nowadays you would get a bunch of workers to build a statue for their CEO. JH Robotics. Really? A robotics company. JH Robotics. They're on Crunchbase. Apparently they do pick-and-place robot manufacturing. So they take contracts to design robots. Doesn't exactly look like a thriving business with those windows boarded up, but hey, maybe they're just trying to blend into the area. There obviously are college students in the area because one of the only businesses I could see is a tea house, bubble tea house, called Ni Hao. Seriously guys, that's the best Asian name you could come up with? Ni Hao. Up there it says that this building was built in 1897. So almost 130 years ago. Another abandoned company building, 1898. And then right over here, there's something different. Here's a building that is not abandoned. It's a building that was put up by Binghamton University. I'm guessing this was an abandoned building and then was remodeled probably over the past few years. And is now the School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences. Hi, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
How are you? Are you from the area?
A little bit, somewhat. Not right in Johnson City, but yeah.
Okay.
What do you need? Maybe I can help you.
Yeah, do you know when they put up the campus building over here?
When?
Yeah, because I know this used to be like an area of a shoe factory.
Yeah, it's been up for a couple, 3 years now, but there was an old EJ factory there, Endicott Johnson, but this whole area here and over there, it's all turned into a pharmacy, school of pharmacy and all that.
Ah, okay.
So that nursing and school of pharmacy, that's what it is.
Ah, okay, so the university is like slowly buying up the buildings?
Yeah, universities bought up the building.
So there you go. It's a similar story to what's playing out across many abandoned towns and neighborhoods across the nation. A university comes in, buys up all the buildings, turns it into a campus, turns it into student apartments, and the area gets a little bit better. And it certainly gets more expensive. I am not a huge fan of the American educational system and the way it's designed. We have the most expensive, by far, tuition costs for a university. Students have to put themselves into debt for years, if not decades, in order to attend school and maybe get a liberal arts degree that'll be useless after they graduate. But it's thanks to those bloated tuition fees that pay for fancy cafeterias, student programs, sports programs, things that you don't exactly need to get a degree. It's because of all that money that the universities are able to buy up buildings like that, become giant property owners and developers. And if I sound salty about this, it's because, spoiler, I used to go to that university and I still owe them $50,000 in student debt. For over a decade, between the student loans and credit card debt, I was stuck just paying interest. Couldn't make a dent in it. And I know that's not normal. The system kind of incentivizes you to immediately get a normal job and join the system. And it disincentivizes starting a business, doing something creative, starting a YouTube channel. Stuff like that. They kind of want you to just get in the system and start paying money in. And help pay for all the people who aren't. Oh, now that's a big abandoned factory right there. Well, so I was just asking around, and apparently this giant structure used to belong to IBM. In fact, it's considered to be the birthplace of IBM. How crazy is that? IBM created the floppy disk, the hard drive. They invented the database for programmers. I had no idea they were here. Man, forget shoes and carpets. Over here in Endicott, New York, they were producing things that made the world turn. Technology. Not too long ago, probably as recent as the 1990s, an employee would come here, swipe their badge, and then they'd be able to get in. All items carried in and out, and all vehicles driven onto the Huron campus facility are subject to a search. They didn't want any trade secrets coming out. This would have been another machine to swipe your key card. Wild stuff, man. It's interesting. I guess you could call these capitalist ruins. Unused truck. In a way, IBM and their facility here was killed off just in the same way that the shoe factory and the carpet factory were killed off. Competition from China. China produces everything that was made in this area more cheaply. Here's an old billiards cafe. Maybe the IBM employees used to come over here after work. Days gone by. Oh, and here's a store that's still in operation that does tinting for your car. In case you lost your job and need to start a new career as a robber. They got you covered right there. Damn, the wild thing is, this cuts right through the middle of the city. Imagine how much of an eyesore this must be for the people that still live here. Seems like this area has been waiting a while for the grand opening of the Japanese and Chinese restaurant. Still got the Christmas tree up. Kind of a weird situation. So does that mean the restaurant opened and then it went out of business so quickly that they didn't even take the grand opening sign down? Because it looks like the front door is sealed shut. Alright, so this is downtown Binghamton. And this probably should be the most thriving part of the city, except more boarded up buildings over here. There's an old barbershop that's been closed down. I guess it's a fair question to ask. It's understandable that a lot of these factory and manufacturing jobs moved out of the area. Many parts of the US have dealt with that. Infamously, the Rust Belt, which stretches from Michigan all the way over here to upstate New York. Many jobs were lost and sent overseas. But this is New York State. It has the same tax base as New York City, the largest city in the Western Hemisphere, one of the most important cities in the world. If you ask most New Yorkers, the most important city in the world. It just seems really unusual to me that the political leadership of New York State can't find a way to drive business to this region. They've got more than enough resources to do so. Where's the jobs at? But then, when you think about it, and you look at how they're currently managing New York City, I don't have a lot of hope for this region. Man, if this isn't Crackhead Alley, it sure looks like it. Let's get out of here. You gotta be careful with these old abandoned buildings. They could be full of asbestos. they could fall apart, could get injured. But thankfully, if you were to suffer a personal injury going into one of these houses or just doing anything going around America, I am happy to tell you this channel has once again been sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. If you're seriously hurt, your injury could be worth millions. Morgan & Morgan does not settle for lowball offers. Just in the past couple of months, Morgan & Morgan saw verdicts of $12 million in Florida, 34 times the highest insurance offer. Wow, look at that. Keep in mind, you don't have to pay any lawyer's fees unless you win. Did you know you can start your claim with America's largest personal injury firm with just a click? It's easy. Just start your case now with Morgan & Morgan by going to forthepeople.com/sabbatical or by clicking on the link in the description. I am still quite surprised to be sponsored by a law firm, but when I think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Now, to be fair, that whole area I was just in, the Binghamton area, was probably the hardest hit in all of New York State by job loss. Other cities upstate aren't quite as bad, but I wouldn't say they're doing great either. Places like Syracuse, Rochester, Buffalo, you may have heard of some of these places because they have a sports team. Those sports teams came into being when those cities still had economic power, when those were places to be. The exit here says it's for Damascus. They have the best city names upstate, I tell you. Let's go see if the upstate Damascus is as bombed out as the real Damascus. Sorry. That's very offensive, probably to both of them. Dude's just got a pickup truck on stilts and a giant boat. And a giant American flag. Damn, I wonder how that happened. It's like a smashing prep. Damn. With the sign announcing that New York City is only 165 miles away. Imagine most people in New York City or Long Island would associate people living in homes like this with like Alabama. There's trailer homes down there. And you know, just to be clear, I'm not showing this to make fun of the people here or do some kind of poverty porn. The thing is, I'm ashamed of how this state looks. And I'm ashamed of what the political leadership has done to it. It's like, I know that upstate New York is cold, so it's hard to attract people up here. But, I mean, have you ever been to New England? New England's right next door, and it doesn't have the same problems. Can't find anyone to talk to here in Damascus. Doesn't seem like a very big town. Rain. I just arrived in a town called Goshen, and this is like a little over an hour's drive to Manhattan. So, you know, like the Chinese food and the pizza starts to taste good again. There's Puerto Ricans. It starts feeling more like New York City. By the way, this is the same hotel, exactly the same hotel that I stayed in last night, the Fairfield Hotel. Except here, it's $70 cheaper. Make that make sense. I can only guess it's because over here in the New York metro area, they can kind of exploit the migrant labor to make the prices a bit cheaper. That's my guess. So, I think we might have to do a part 2 to upstate New York. Upstate New York is absolutely massive. I can't get to everything in one video. There's also nicer parts of the state. It's not all doom and gloom. You have the Adirondack State Park up in the far north of the state. Absolutely beautiful up there. But anyway, to wrap this up, my own little conclusion after going around the state a bit, I personally think New York City and the rest of New York State shouldn't be in the same state. They should be 2 different states. And if you look at countries around the world, when you have a mega city like New York, and I don't know if there's a bigger mega city than New York, it's given its own district, its own state. And for tax purposes, I think that just works out better. Because the state government in Albany, I mean, when you're dealing with the problems of New York City and Long Island and the rest of the state, it's 2 completely different things. Also, I found out while filming this that it's kind of hard to make videos in America because everybody's driving around in cars. But I'll still try to make a part 2 someday. Hope you enjoyed this anyway. And I'm not sure where I'm going next. Might take a short break, but I'll see you wherever that is. Have a good one.